back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we are coming to you from our Studio B, which is basically the garden level of the Holman house, doing a little bit of remote work here. But we're going to run down to Detroit right now, spend a little time with Michael Bickers. He's the Executive Vice President and Regional President for PNC Bank in Detroit and Southeast Michigan. And Michael, it's good to see you again. It's been a little while because we actually first chatted at when we had Jennifer Granholm in, former governor, now head of energy. And I think that it was, I'm trying to think of who introduced us. Oh, from Michigan Matters and the Free Press, Carol King, right?
Yes.
So how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Me and the team just out here trying to do the best we can in Southeast Michigan.
Well, you keep the money available. That's all we ask in the small business community, right?
We will do that for sure.
Good. So let's kind of, by way of introduction, Michael, let's chart your career a little bit. Let everybody know who you are.
Yeah. So kind of just to summarize, I started in our corporate bank, over 30 years ago, actually in downtown Detroit, and spent about the first half of my career in the corporate bank, and then actually spent literally the next half in the retail bank through a series of group manager roles, territory executive roles, and now and part of that was a 4-year stint in Chicago, running our Chicago market. And then I started running the Midwest territory. So if you think Big Ten states, stuff like that, in 21, and then I got this magical phone call to come back home to Michigan to do this job, which has been fantastic.
So are you a Michigander by birth?
Yes. Well, I was born in Georgia, but we moved here when I was like 7 from Georgia. When that was back when you came north to get a job at Fisher Body, and that's what my dad did.
Yep.
Yes.
That makes you a native, by the way, just in case anybody asks.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, tell us a little bit about the involvement of the bank and all the involvement they have in community improvement programs, because you guys do a lot.
Yeah, great question. So the model that we run, we call Main Street model. So we're like the 5th or 6th largest bank in the country. But I think that can either be helpful to people, or people just think that's something that's kind of way out there, that's sort of untouchable. So the model we run with me and people like me across the country is to bring our Main Street model sort of to life. And that's where personally I run kind of an inside-outside game, just making certain on the inside, our business leaders and all the folks responsible for make the sort of the trains run on time, that they have what they need and we run it together. That allows us through that performance to fund all the different things that we do in the community with a ton of awesome nonprofit partners and other strategic partners. So when you think about Grow Up Great, that's like a $500 million commitment to kids pre-K to 0 to 5 years old. So you'll probably see us around the communities with so many partners in support of children in the Detroit community, and that's probably the most fun of our work.
Well, and of course, this includes DEI too. You do a lot of work in that area.
Yeah, I would tell you, I like to think that we're so far ahead in that, because you've seen unfortunate, obviously, circumstances when you think about George Floyd 3 years ago. Well, for us, that actually started with Rodney King in 1992.
Yep.
And what he went through. And that's when we really started getting serious, because I want people to understand it's our employees that wait to see how people like me are going to react and how we're going to lead through it and what's going to be different about our company. So we're sort of one of those folks where we don't have to dig deep and focus every meeting around it, because it's just embedded in our culture. And of course, we've got the great Gina Coleman running DE&I for the entire company, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So I need to ask how the bank is doing.
Of course, we're doing great. I would tell you every few years you get in these cycles, and I understand that. But that's why, we're the type of bank, we don't sort of shift where our focuses are. We concentrate on based on stock markets and where the wind blows. We kind of stay, I like to say, down in the middle of the fairway. And we don't beg off of that. And so therefore, you want to have good growth. You want to have quality growth. Chick Fisher from back in the NBD days. I remember him saying, if it grows like a weed, it probably is one. So we're not your grow like a weed kind of company. And we're proud of that. So we're strong as it gets. We're lending money. We're banking great clients. We love where we are.
Well, I'll tell you what, controlled growth, there's nothing like it. Those gazelle lists used to change every 48 hours.
Yeah, there you go.
So, how about talent? Because talent is a big problem all over the state. Are you able to get the people you want?
Well, it's been interesting because, a year ago, it was sort of war on talent, and you have to make different compensation discussions, and you got to decide where you're going to play, where, you don't want it to become sort of like the new norm. And that's sort of really backed off now.
Yeah.
That being said, what we have found when you mentioned D&I is if our teammates feel like they have a future at PNC, that's our best retention tool.
Yeah.
So the best retention tool is their development, investing in our employees, making certain that we understand what's important to them, which means it has to be important to you. And then that's how we manage that. We control that part.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. Look at, we got like 15 seconds left.
Yes.
What's going to happen with interest rates?
Oh my goodness. Higher for longer. Higher for longer. People, it's like buying a house. You know what? So go ahead. You do it right now. I get it. 7%. So when it comes down in a year, you refinance it and you're back down to whatever it is. So it's not the end of the world.
This is the natural cycle. All right.
Yeah.
Michael Bickers, Executive Vice President and Regional President of PNC Bank, Detroit Southeast. We'll be back at you, my friend. We want updates periodically.
Thank you for the time. Have a great day.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be back.